Hello, once again, everybody. How's it going? Another episode of Bandwidth and Banter. We're on episode 123, and it was awesome that you had your Aloe Very Much mug handy and ready this time again. I'm your host, Stormy D, and that is my co-host.
Dude, IRL.
Thank you. And it's an honor to be here once again with a new streamer that, well, this streamer's not new, but new for kind of on Bandwidth and Banter in our circle. But I'm jumping ahead of myself.
You are.
Ryan G. Wiz, I do that a lot, don't I? Ryan G. Wiz was on last week. My God, we love Ryan so much. He has become a fixture in so many communities, and his radiance and his brilliance just shine out. And yeah, I'm just so super stoked that we got to have him on again, and you know that he's going to be in the next 3-shot D&D sessions starting June 15th on Sunday. So very cool, very cool.
With some amazing
Speaking
people.
of brilliant and radiant, this amazing streamer, we know her through Plague Dragon, and it was who's been on the show, and who we love dearly, and we got to role play with her with Old Man Garrus's Alien TTRPG, and like honestly, as soon as Plague Dragon shared this streamer with us, I'm like, oh God, we got to have this person on. She's amazing.
I will trust anything that Plague Dragon ever says ever.
That's true.
I'll just
That's
blindly. I'll just be like, yep, you're right. Whatever she says is true and correct. And I am now a fan.
Indeed. And another person we're a fan of is the person we're having on today, QueenB3atrix. Let's have her on right now. Hi there.
Hello. Yay. I'm QueenB3atrix. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. Yay.
You bet. QueenB3atrix, please reintroduce yourself and share something about your stream that you would like to highlight.
Okay. QueenB3atrix on Twitch and other platforms. I'm a variety streamer who is leaning very heavily into DayZ these days because I love my zombie survival horror. I also fundraise for Extra Life, which is part of the reason that I love Twitch and I love connecting with other people who like to be silly and play games for a good cause. And full-time in real life, I'm a personal trainer, and that's one big thing I'm hoping to introduce more to my streams this year is fun / maybe educational fitness content, yoga, strength training, running on the treadmill and watching, Kitchen Nightmare reruns, whatever it might look like, just different ways to move our bodies and engage with each other in that way. So that's kind of the thing I'm most excited about that's up and coming, but mostly you will see lots of just silly gaming, and that's my wheelhouse.
Love
Fantastic. That's exactly the wheelhouse that we love here. So we're going to dive straight into the interview with our first question that we ask every streamer. QueenB3atrix, please share a boring fact about yourself.
A boring fact. I feel like when I was rewatching reruns, I was like, oh, I'm going to think of something boring, but everything in the right context is really interesting. Like in the wrong group of people, if I'm like, well, yeah, I don't want to have kids. One person might be like, you don't want to have kids? Do you not care about America? And I'm like something could be very, very, very boring to someone and very, very interesting to someone else. But I think a boring fact that's at least gamer related would be something like the fact that Fallout New Vegas is my favorite game, but I haven't only finished it once. Twice. And to have a game that is clocked as your favorite and to just perpetually restart it seems like a boring, weird thing to do in relation to something that you like so much. But that's about all I can think of.
The amount of times that I started playing Skyrim and then deleted it and started again is insane.
Yeah.
And I've only beat it once.
Yeah,
I've only completed the ending once.
Druid, I see you.
How many times have you in Fate started Baldur's Gate 3 and never finished it?
Twice. And I've only ever launched the ship in RimWorld one time, and I have almost 700 hours in RimWorld, and I've only launched the ship and completed endgame content once.
I think
So,
of my like
I get it.
50 hours in RimWorld though, that at least 40 of them are me paused, frantically trying to make sure that everything is set and no one dies. So I think 700 hours is reasonable to not to launch the ship once, because all my hours would be like, "Where's my pet? Is my pet gonna die? Where are all my people? Are there pirates kidnapping us?" Like that's the most stressful game I've ever played.
It's so good. I love it so much.
It's so
Quick
good.
question. Quick. Do you know the gory details?
I do, through the Plague Pals. Lucky enough to know the gory details. That was one of the interviews I watched. Gory, it was so good, and you're amazing. Gory is like in it for Extra Life and everything else, just 110% in a way I admire so much. And always sharing lots of fitness and health goals too. Yes.
I shouldn't be shocked, but here I am, shocked.
Mm.
But of course, I guess the Extra Life community, is like a whole different type of amazing.
Yeah, we played some Blood on the Clock Tower together. That was the first time that for an Extra Life event, and that was, oh no, sorry, it was for Norse Foundry Dice Company. That was for Extra Life. It's all for Extra Life because Norse Foundry does Extra Life too. It's all for, yes, good. I love that. And it was so much fun, and I realized in that, I was like, Gory, we need to hang out more. This is so great, because we'd only seen each other in the texty land. So yeah, 6 degrees of Plague Dragon.
Amazing. QueenB3atrix, how did you pick your Twitch name and what was the inspiration?
So as an ADHD kid, a lot of what happens to me, or whatever my neurodivergency is, who knows, add some to the list. A lot of what seems to be what happens to significant decisions in my life is that they do just appear, because apparently the clockwork gears in my brain are ruminating along on their own subconsciously all the time, and things just pop into my brain. So, I was kind of trying to think of something that represented me, that I thought would be fun and easy to brand. Kill Bill is one of my favorite movies. So I started out actually as Beatrix Kiddo with all leet spelling with an underscore in the middle, because I wanted to be as unsearchable as possible, which I love. Please keep doing that if you're doing that. Be unique. But I thought, I was like, okay, we'll do black and yellow. It'll be amazing. We'll do blood splatter on stuff. Yes. And then I was like, who else is black and yellow? Pikachu. So that's how we ended up with this ridiculous amalgamation, why you see lots of like Kill Bill crossed over with Pikachu, because it's just like a little bit badass and insane and a little bit cutesy. But I realized pretty quickly, and I will keep doing this as long, I don't care if it stops being a trend, but I wanted to be able to shout Yas Queen at people a lot. So I went through a little mini rebrand early on and changed from Beatrix Kiddo to QueenB3atrix so that I could go Yas at people and at myself when I was excited. Yas Queen, let's go. So it will be shouted from the hills forever. And, don't overthink it, folks. I'm just saying, as long as you like your name and you think there's a way for you to have fun with it, that's how I got there. But I swear, it just appears, and I just follow where the brain waves take me.
I love it.
That's awesome.
We get to have all sorts of fun. Yas, Queen, Gory, yas.
So, what Dungeons and Dragons class do you consider yourself to be in real life?
In real life, well, I'm a little more of a Pathfinder kid, I'm gonna say. But I'm.
Pathfinder's an offshoot of 3.5 D&D.
It's a baby of D&D. I know. Who would I be? I tend to. I'm such a woman of the wilds in my ways. Like that's the fantasy counterpart of me, as just like riding like a glowing golden stag through the woods with like a bow and arrow. So I'm very druidic, or even a ranger. Gotta have an animal companion or speak with animals, or a familiar. That all really radiates with me. And I tend to be, when I play a druid, which I'm doing right now in our first Baldur's Gate 3 run. I'm more damage dealing, less healing, and I like lightning and fire. So I say, like our beautiful druid here, that I tend to be a little bit of a druidic lady. Yes. Spread those bare feet into the earth and run away from the patriarchy. Yes.
Yes. I think I healed maybe twice when I played my druid.
Yeah.
Oh, you healed more than that. But not a lot.
But
someone else healed
I
me.
waited to see if Emlyn Ray would heal before I healed someone, and she was a bard.
The bard. Oh, well, it's so funny though. I am playing a cleric in my Pathfinder home game, and I really do. Being a cleric that's a role I settle into very well in all sorts of funny games. Like I tend to play the healing characters in Rainbow Six Siege. I'm just like, I'll boost ya, beep, I gotcha, and then I die, so I'm not super helpful. But I like being a support person. I think, but a druid character in D&D is where I tend to get a little more aggro and free. So
there's nothing better than bonus action casting Shillelagh.
Oh yeah,
just saying.
I've been enjoying Thorn Whip. Everything's great.
I always imagined my erupting earth to be just a giant fist.
Yes. Oh, it's so badass.
Saying.
The powers of the earth. Yes. Harness them for good. I love it.
If you could cosplay as any character, no matter how complex their look, who would it be?
Well, I've got one that I'm trying to plan this year that I'm really excited about. So it's not necessarily that complicated, but I'm so excited to be Samantha from Dungeon Crawler Carl, starting in book 4. So I don't want to spoil or anything, but Samantha is just like my queen. I just want to go be mean to everyone, tell them I will kill your mother, we will be a floating head, and just have like the best day ever. So if you haven't listened to Dungeon Crawler Carl, you have to go and you have to find my sister Samantha because you have to be invited to the bachelorette party. And it's going to be so much fun. So she's the, this is going to sound insane, but she's a reincarnated deity who is a broken off head of a sex doll that was turned to stone and got knocked over and broke. So she's just the head, and then she comes back to life, and she's a demigod, and it's a whole thing. Please go listen to Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's great, but that one's gonna happen for sure.
That is
yes.
So beautiful.
That will be that does sound kind of complicated and epic at the same time.
Maybe a little bit. I think in person it'll be hard to try to do like black makeup and then we're all black, but on green screen, floating head of, a demigod sex doll is going to be pretty solid.
Ooh, that's
it sounds
clever.
So weird. You got to just go listen to the book. It doesn't make any sense out of context, but that's my dream one right now. And I know I have a lot in the works with Plague Dragon. She'll remind me of the full list.
Can't wait.
Oh yeah, some people are sounding off in the comments. I have converted so many. I'm like proselytizing Dungeon Crawler Carl. I've gotten so many people to listen to it so I can talk to them about it. And honestly, I'm the most proud of this of more than anything else in my life. So if anyone else starts listening, please join our cult. The Plague Pals are not a cult, but I am a Dungeon Crawler Carl cult. Please join. Tell them I sent you.
Tell them I sent you. It was Queen Bee. Oh no.
Pivoting back to your stream, QueenB3atrix, you have special incentives for your stream. How popular are the ones that involve giving your pets treats? And please tell us about your fur babies.
Yes, those are definitely the best sellers by far. Everyone's a little bit hidey today because of the thunderstorm that's going on, but Zeke might be able to get him to do it. Zeke will go woo woo if you ask him to go woo woo usually. So giving him a treat on camera is a big surprise for everybody who's not seen him before because he'll sit up and he'll go woo, and sometimes his little feet will lift off the ground because he's going woo, and it's so cute. And then PG is a frequent star. I think she's much more popular than I am, but we have her daughter Skittermander as well, who accidentally was named perfectly, and she's a Starfinder character. Creature is a Skittermander, and PG is named after a Starfinder character from a podcast because we're very nerdy. But PG is one of the funniest cats I've ever met, and she's very bold, and we call them little great white shark kitties because they're gray on top and white on the bottom. But so if you see a Skittermander, that's very lucky, and we do unboxings for them in our Patreon. And Evie is my little old lady who's my little diva who is now 19, and she's all white and very talkative. But yes, these get Zeke a treat or give the kitties a treat, by far the best incentives. Those have brought in a lot of money for Extra Life, and I love giving them stuff, so it's great. It works out for everyone.
That's so cute.
Oh,
I know if he wasn't so sad, I'd have him go woo woo, but he's very sad right now. He's looking at me just like, please don't make me do anything.
There's scary sounds outside.
Oh, the sky is attacking us again.
Oh, babies. How often do you inspire 8-year-olds to speak softly and carry a large banhammer?
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah, so I was streaming and somebody was being terrible. I think this was when I was playing Persona 5, which I knew nothing about, and was because I do a lot of just like, I don't know anything about this game, I'll play it, which is a bold move. Because you're going to have people who come in and are like, you've never played this game, but I've played it, and you don't know anything, stupid. And you have to be like, yeah, I've never. Jesus, like it's just a whole thing.
Okay,
you also get it's like, yeah, and I think people seem to forget that like they didn't actually know it at one point in time. There's this like thing that's like, well, I know it, so I must have always known it. So someone was shouting at me in like all caps, rude. Someone who had just showed up, being like, you have to turn around and look at something. And I remember just being like, stop fucking doing this. You're making a bad name for Persona players. Like, how dare you? And I just read this person the riot act in very adult language and did not realize that my friends one of my husband's coworkers was watching with her 8-year-old, and found out later. And I believe the quote is, "She seems fun. I really liked when she told that Karen what's what," and I laughed so hard. I laughed so hard, and I guess I had this like, oh, I was swearing a lot, and because I get really mad, and I will mute you, and I will tell you you're being a rude bitch. And there was an 8-year-old like, "Good job, yeah, tell that rude bitch to stop backseat gaming." I just like, it was so good. A quote definitely got added to the page. Yeah, so that does happen. It's happened at least once, maybe more, maybe twice. I don't know.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Yeah, public service announcement. Let new players be new players and experience the game, for God's sake, please. Okay? Just saying.
Just let us figure it out. Yes.
Just let us figure it out. I eventually figured out RimWorld. Okay?
You did.
Okay. So
yeah. Let us figure it out. Gosh, dang it.
QueenB3atrix, as a big anime fan, how have your tastes and standards changed over the years?
Well, I'm from the generation where I remember going home to my friend Tracy's house in middle school, and we would watch Dragon Ball Z and sit on the floor in her living room. So that a lot of my early anime was Dragon Ball Z, and then Inuyasha, and I realize now looking back, Evangelion. I was a bit of a party monster in college, which is a nice way to say now a recovering alcoholic. But I would be up late. Yes, let's go. We're out here. I would be up late doing normal things in college in my dorm room. And this was like pre-Netflix. So I would watch a lot of what was on Adult Swim. So I actually watched a lot of like Evangelion. Yeah, lots of Inuyasha. And that was very early on kind of my exposure to it. And then I did do with our really good friend, Mr. Andatius, for a while, we did a show called Friendly Anime Roundup Time, which spells fart because we're adults and we get to do what we want. And we watched a lot of anime for that. And we were going on a clip for that show that was too fast for our lifestyles, and it kind of fizzled out. Could be revived at any time, though. Nothing ever ends. But I realized so I kind of now seem to go into two camps. I'm either like Attack on Titan or slice of life teenagers awkwardly trying to ask each other to like the big festival in the summer. Those are my two. I really like something that's just like catastrophically bleak and intense and violent, or just like cute and nice and very, and it really shows this kind of anime, the version of like what it's like to be in Japan as a kid, or like a young adult trying to navigate whatever. So I do those a lot. We're watching Dungeon Meshi right now, which I was recommended to me from a friend who's also read Dungeon Crawler Carl, thanks to me. There we go. And I've heard that it gets a lot darker, and I kind of will watch anything though, realistically, but I noticed that those are my two big spheres of anime, and I'm not a snob about it. I'll watch a dub or a sub because depending on my mood. I don't like to gatekeep things like that. And sometimes I'm trying to also eat and can't just stare at the screen and read or whatever. And I think there's no wrong way to enjoy things like that if it works for you. So yeah, but I like anime. Anime is fun and dramatic.
And I misheard you. What did you say the anime you currently were watching was?
Oh yeah, Dungeon Meshi, or Delicious in Dungeon. It's a Netflix original, but it is by Studio Trigger, which I didn't realize at first, but that's been really great. I think we're about 8 episodes in, and yeah, I like Studio Trigger a lot. I've seen quite a few there, so yes.
Absolutely amazing.
Druid, I saw that comment.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. What's your favorite older anime and your favorite newer anime?
I think Neon Genesis Evangelion is one of my favorite older ones. Don't ask me to explain anything that happened though. No matter how many times I watch it, I don't know and I don't care. I just think it is like just magnificent and intense and so fun to just engage with and question. And it answers some questions and leaves a lot of gaps. But I love that one. Newest anime that I like. This one's pretty recent and it's kind of a wild card at like picking, how do you pick your favorite pet, But I don't know that this one got renewed for a second season, but I was really into High Rise Invasion. I like really loved it. It was kind of a perfect level of being fan servicey and exciting, and had some mystery and had some kind of like hot people and like short skirts and also like cool guy with a sniper rifle. And like, it was just, I really liked it and found it like, I was really, really excited for the next season. And then I don't know that it got picked up. That was a Netflix original as well. Actually, I just realized what the real answer is, if it counts. So I loved that one. But actually, the one that, I mean, my husband was fully just like laughing at me every time we'd watch it, was Blue-Eyed Samurai. I love Blue-Eyed Samurai. If we want to, I know that one's a little bit less traditional anime style, but it is an adult animated show. It has like music from the Kill Bill movies, and you guys, I was dying. I was just like, I would sit on the couch and just go, "Oh my God, Marlon, are you watching this?" And he'd be like, "Yes, I'm sitting here watching it with you." And I was losing my shit. I thought that one was, it's beautiful and intense, and also like more naked people in animes. I kept just like, yes, full frontal, more of that. I love this. I just everything was just ticking all the boxes for me. And but that also, I think that falls into the like bleak category. But I love that one. But High Rise Invasion, definitely check out. There's only one season of it, sadly to say. That's a really cool one. It's just fun. It just hits that nerve in the right spot.
Love it. I'm going to put them both on my list. I think I already have Blue Samurai queued up, but I haven't had a chance to start it yet. So
it has some of the most beautifully choreographed and like cinematic fight scenes I've ever seen in an animated show. They do it so well. It's kind of hard to describe. You have to check it out.
Love it. Love it.
So switching gears a little bit here. What drew you to Twitch?
This is again just like, I'm the most. My impulsivity is just bizarre. But I think I had watched 2 different people stream on Twitch before I first tried it. One of which was somebody who was very drunk playing Fallout 4 with the Frost mod on it, with I think 3 people watching. And one was just another random guy playing the Fallout New Vegas Dust mod with 2 people, one of whom was me. I believe I accidentally backseat gamed a little bit. My bad, random guy. So sorry that I told you could drink beer to hydrate. That is my bad. And then I was like, this seems cool. I should do that. Yeah, that was the extent of my research. I've since gotten a little bit better about actually looking into anything, just generally in life. But this is often been my approach to a lot of things, where I just sort of, my gut goes, this feels right. Do this. And I'm like, okay. So I was streaming on my Xbox in my house in Oregon with my mom, who had no idea what I was doing. She's just like, I don't know what this is. And I kept being like, Mom, I'm trying to stream. It's like, yeah, bitch, you don't know what you're doing either. What do you think this is? The whole situation was very silly. And like my mic and my camera would not ever sync. And so I streamed with camera off a lot. I was still drinking at the time, which I don't think negatively impacted streams very much, but I was just in a weird place. A lot of stuff had happened. It was the middle of COVID. So I'm a Twitch COVID baby, but even to like a more extreme extent than other people, because other people had actually like watched Twitch before. And I was just like, this seems like a fun way to meet other people who play Fallout mods. Cool. Having no idea of the scope or what the landscape of Twitch really is, or the potential for the kinds of people you get connected with. And so I'm still small, but I feel like I ran myself through a gauntlet of learning to stream that is means I actually have some pretty good advice for new streamers to give. If anyone ever wants like hey, what's it like? I usually have a couple bullet points of like, well, these are the things you should actually prioritize, and these are things you don't have to worry about, because I worried about a lot of the wrong things. But I'm so glad I did. I have met all of my favorite people through Twitch. So ultimately the gut was right, just in a very, very silly way with no information. It's just a classic approach. This is how I'm with baking too. I have a food science degree, and I still be in the kitchen like, that feels right. Usually works out. The number of times I've been like, that banana bread's really good. I forgot the eggs though. And Marlon's just like, we have the same degree. What's happening? He's over there with the scale measuring things, and I'm like, yeah, ta-ta-ta, it'll be great.
Sometimes you just have to hope, man, and that's how it goes. That's how some of my best dinners have come out, because I'm just like, I'm just gonna this is gonna work.
Trust
this is all I got.
Trust yourself, people.
And then you just throw it all into a pan, roll it into a burrito, and you have no problems. Like, literally. Good. Everything can be wrapped in a tortilla, and it just makes it way time. Like,
you can put cheese on most stuff. You'll be good. Don't stress about
it. Facts. What did friends and family think when you told them that you planned on streaming or started streaming impulsively?
My mom still, who I love so much, is still. I'll be like, oh yeah, we did this thing, or we had this event. She'll be like, okay, honey, that's nice. And I think we were really isolated. Like during COVID, my dad had just passed away the year before. I got fired because of being in the middle of grief, and it's very complicated. And then I went to rehab, and then we were with my mom, who just lost her husband. It was just a whole thing. And so it was my husband and I living at home with my mom in the house where my dad had been with my mom who just lost her husband and me who had just lost my dad, and we were on lockdown. So I was texting some people and talking about it. I did not have as much of an online network as I do now. Very, very few people on Discord that I talk to. And I think, it's something that as it comes up, a lot of people, they either know what it is and they're like, oh, cool. Yeah. What's your handle? Or they have no idea. And I just don't push it any further. So, although I have had a lot of people assume that when I say I do content creating, that have an OnlyFans, and I'm just like, well, how well do you think it would do if it's were to exist? I'm not, we don't have to close that door right away, but thank you for assuming that, I guess. But yeah, I don't think, I haven't had, I just, I talked to some people about it. I had like a few friends come and watch and support me, but I was really, really isolated in that time, as a lot of us were. And I actually am realizing just now saying it, how little I talked to other people about it, because I was just doing it to try to do it and to see what it felt like. And I just kept doing it. And even when I stopped for a little bit, I just started doing it again. Like I've had a lot of friends who were like, oh yeah, I'm stopping streaming. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're just taking a break. It's okay. Like, you're still here. Like, it's all right. So I've just always kind of wanted to connect with people in that way. And yeah, it's opened up my world a lot, and my friends don't care. They're either a friend through Twitch, so they know, or they're just like,
Cool.
seems weird and cool, you nerd. I'm like, yeah, nerd.
On this same kind of topic, what struggles did you deal with when you first started streaming?
A lot of the struggles that I was dealing with in real life, which were just like communicating boundaries appropriately and like setting realistic expectations for myself, and knowing where to invest my energy and kind of which advice to take seriously or not. Like one of the biggest things that was told to me initially was like, you have to stick to a strict schedule or you're never going to be successful. And it's like, well, I can't really do that right now. Like there's too many factors outside of my control. It also, even now that my life is way more stable, I still don't, that's not something that can be a priority for me. And that's just something I've learned, where I'm like, you're gonna just have to check your notifications and get lucky. That's where we're at right now, guys. Someday, hopefully I'll be more, more regular, but who knows? Yeah, and I definitely, like, I had my fair share of, like, it was actually the person who was like my biggest like harasser was a woman who was married, who was like giving me a time. I eventually had to block her, and just like, she was real spicy. That was very exciting. And looking back, I'm like, oh my God. Her name was also Claire. That was wild. But so just kind of like how you learn to, it's a parasocial relationship no matter what. Like until, like for me, until we're like regularly communicating, even if that's in DMs or just in the Discord with other people, or if I'm talking to you regularly in my Twitch chat, like there's still how we figure out how to bridge that gap with each other and how much we trust each other. Like I'm a pretty confident person. I can be a little bit intimidating even to people. I hope not too much, but that didn't mean that I didn't have people kind of being like, I don't want to say predatory because that makes it sound more serious than it is, but people see you're small, like a little streamer, and they kind of come in and kind of weave into your world and tell you like, oh, you should be doing things this way, or like, it's normal to have these kinds of messages and people be this demanding on Discord. And again, this is all just back to actual life, where I have to be like, these are the expectations that I can stand by. These are the things that matter to me. This is where I want to spend my money. These are the types of people I will and won't communicate with. These are the types of things I will and won't stand for in my stream. It can be really hard early on to recognize when somebody's being shitty and backseat gaming you too much. And now I'm like, really, I can clock it way faster now, where I'm just like, yeah, I don't like that. Stop doing that. Or somebody, like how I respond to someone being mean to me. Because sometimes people come in and are like, you look tired. And I remember that happening once and going like, yeah, how'd you know that was the thing that was going to upset me the most today, person? And now it doesn't bother me because you've run through the barbs of people being stupid. And that also, like, some people that doesn't matter to them, but I'm also someone who's very sensitive to that in real life. So it really is just like putting up a mirror to as things have gotten better in my day-to-day life, things get better on Twitch. So it's kind of a good sign for what you're dealing with.
Oh man. Yep. Now I just like tell people, I'm like, you got to be careful because my mods put up with no shit.
Love that.
And they will nope. My mods will put up with zero shit,
No
and
shit.
I have no power to stop them. And then people are like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, they're in charge of the vibe of chat.
Yep.
I'm in charge of making the vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you.
Such a good way to do it too. Yep. And just
don't piss off.
never second guess banning somebody or anything. That's one of the best pieces of advice I can give. It's just like, no, there will be someone else. Don't deal with it.
I was gonna say, what tips can you share with future streamers? ban them. If you think about it, do it.
If you ban them, don't put up with any shit. You do not have to, especially as anyone who's female presenting or anyone who, across all gender spectrums, if you are someone who is a yes person and wants to facilitate people's comfort, that is very much me being a person now who is like, I actually don't give a shit if you feel uncomfortable. I don't want you here. I don't like how you're communicating with me. Say that out loud to somebody and ban them. It's okay. It's okay to do that. Don't worry about your overlay. Don't worry about the quality of your camera. Like, make sure that your mic is audible and okay, but don't stress about having the best, most impressive anything. Like, if you want to do it, the best way to do it is as simply as possible starting out. So like, get a good username, get a couple games that you like to play. If you want to be on camera, do that. If you don't, that's also fine. Just make sure you've got a good way to communicate with your chat, whatever your style is. Some people, these days, just like type and chat. Also fine. Don't feel like you have to fit a box. There is a type of streamer for every type of viewer and large communities that support all of them. So you're not as extroverted as me and not as shouty and sweary as me and want to like be cozy and knit and like be nice to people. Do that. You want to shout at people and murder people in DayZ and run around like a monster? Do that. Like, do whatever feels the most true to you, because they'll still be there's a performance aspect to it. Obviously, there's a little bit of being on, but for me, the most you can diminish that onness, the most you can take away that feeling like you need to be something for other people, the easier it will be to want to do it. Because I remember one of the best pieces of advice I got from somebody, it was probably Plague Dragon, was just like, don't make this the worst paying job you've ever had. Don't make it feel like work. Make sure you set yourself up so that it's simple and fun. Don't spend a lot of money on stuff you don't need to. Like, get a friend to help with some graphic design stuff. Do it yourself in Canva. Like, I always support paying artists and graphic designers when you're ready. That's what I did for my branding, but I didn't need to at the start. I needed to wait and establish until I knew what direction I was going. So just don't stress about that stuff, like it's just make it easy and just make yourself be the focus at first, right? Like, even if that's just you typing in chat, like start to find the people you like who like the kind of games you like to play or topics you like to talk about. Just make it simple. That's the best piece of advice I can give, and what I would definitely do. And I would go back to myself and tell myself to just stress about way less. Like, don't worry about that right now. Like, you don't need to do this. Like, some people might expect it. Tell them to go find someone who does that. You don't have to offer everything to everyone. And definitely ban people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
or get some mods that won't put up with no shit.
Yes. I like this. Leave it to the mods. My poor mods are all still like, B, is it okay if I ban this person? I'm like, yeah, bitch, go crazy. I was like, oh, what's the worst case scenario? Oh no, you ban someone. Oh no, I'm not going to be upset about it. It protects everybody else. It protects the people you want there. Okay. Like, you get to set the vibe. If you'd kick that person out of your house, fucking kick them out of your chat. Don't deal with it.
It's your chat. It's your chat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bringing this full circle now, what do you enjoy most about streaming?
Oh, the risk reward of the spontaneity, for sure, that you are live and that truly the funniest things can happen because there's people watching. I really live to laugh really freely, that kind of laughing where you like try to stop, but you can't. Where you're just 5 minutes later, you're like, I'm over it. No, I'm not. And you can like get laughing about some dumb shit that already is well in the past and everyone else has moved on from, but you're still laughing about. I really live to have stupid, funny shit recorded to rewatch and enjoy those moments of my life where I felt just joy and freedom and just like I was in a flow state of happiness again and again. And it's just like, again, introduced me to people like you two, everyone in chat. Like, I cannot tell you what streaming has done for my social life, like what it's done for my ability to connect with the people that I actually was meant to find. So persevere through it. Like, the people are the best part, and the adventures we get to have together. It's nothing like it. Nothing
right
like
on. Well said.
Yup. Beautiful. But also take breaks if need be, guys. Just
that too.
Somebody who's currently on a break. How long have you been playing video games, and what is the first one you've ever played?
So I didn't categorize myself as a capital G gamer for a very, very long time. But actually, so I was born in 87. I don't care if you know how old I am. I do not give a shit. So I had one of those ice blue little Nintendos. What are they called? My poor brain. Game Boy. Thank you. I had like the frost blue one, and I played like the little black and white Mario stuff. And I had one of those weird just played. Yes. See, that's even more advanced than I had. Shoot. I had one of those little Lion King terrifying little, I don't know what they're called, but that screen where you can kind of see the back, where it's just like the outline and it reflects through. And it was like the hardest game I've ever played. And you're just like trying to run from the wildebeest and you keep dying. And weirdly, it's just like a trauma cycle repeating. Like, I don't know why we did this to kids, but it was great. But then I got a 64 was my first console. And I think like the game I really remember playing the most and getting like into it was Mario Kart. Because Mario Kart 64, I mean, man, I did a lot of that. And it's so funny to think about now where I'll be in like some big, beautiful, like I jumped into like Starfield and played for 45 minutes and was like, okay. But 10-year-old me was like, I could play this same track in Mario Kart 60 times to get that land speed record. I don't give a fuck. And it's just so funny how you can do the most repetitive thing. And now I'm like, I guess this is just adulthood now. Nothing will stimulate my poor brain. I feel like then my next big one was The Sims 1. The Sims 1 is one of my top 3. Like, it's like Fallout New Vegas and Daisy and Sims 1. It's like the weirdest cross section of games of all. I love The Sims 1. The following iterations are great, but that one, I mean, I could hyperfixate on The Sims like crazy. So I've been gaming since I was 4 or 5, but I didn't start playing like big kid games until I started dating my husband in 2011. So I had to go back and give myself some credit, you know? And even if you're playing Candy Crush, you're a gamer. You playing Scrabble, boom, gamer, no gatekeeping. No gatekeeping. 100%.
I played this Frogger game on the computer at my aunt had on her computer, and she would just like because like I never really had any games growing up, but like she had The Sims, and she was just like, just do whatever, I don't care, just play The Sims, and I didn't get it. But then there was this Frogger game also. But it was like this like 3D Frogger like game, and I remember just sitting there playing the same thing over and 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 over. And then they would have to hunt me down because I would just be so quiet, and I'm not a quiet person. But you put me in front of that Frogger game, they couldn't find me.
Why isn't she speaking? There must be something horribly wrong. Oh, can relate.
On the same topic of gaming, QueenB3atrix, what is your favorite game and least favorite game that you've played on stream?
Okay, so to play on stream, I think weirdly, I haven't played it in a long time, but I went through a phase where I was playing a lot of Skyrim for a while, which I've sort of drifted away from just a little bit, but Skyrim had some very, very funny things that happened. And I just felt like that was a really great, every time I played it, I had like lots of random people come in. It was a game that I knew a lot about. So I was insulated from the like, is this your first time playing? Let me guide you through it. It's like, no, I actually know stuff about this. So it seemed to have like a nice amount of appeal and brought in really nice people, and funny random stuff happens because Skyrim physics are funny, and like it's just kind of broken, even though it's also like a magnificent, cool game. So that's like still to this day, Skyrim or Oblivion, although I have words about the Oblivion remaster, but I know it's great. But Oblivion, Elder Scrolls games always seem to be just a good kind of that's a cozy place for me where you get a little bit of downtime. Like you're in the town and you're like smithing stuff and then you're like shopkeeping, whatever. But then you're also going and fighting stuff, and it has like nice ebb and flow, which works well for my brain. Least favorite gaming experience on Twitch, hands down, Destiny 2 raid. Fuck that shit. Never again. Absolutely not. I think I played like 15 hours of Destiny.
I need somebody to clip that and send it to me, please.
Yes.
Send that to my husband. Thank you.
Yep. And NBT and Star Kitty.
Absolutely never again. So I'd played like 15 hours. My friends were like, we'll get you ready. We'll do a raid. This is the best game ever. There's so much lore, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, great. So I played with them off air and like a little bit on stream. And they were like, we'll do a raid. It'll be great. And for some reason, anytime my friend was like, okay, Claire, watch out, this jump is really hard. And then he'd be halfway through a sentence and I'd be like, ta-da. He'd be like, how'd you get over here? And I was like, I don't know. And then anytime he was like, don't worry, Claire, this jumping puzzle's super easy. You're going to get it. I just was holding everybody up. And like, there is no misery like missing a simple jumping puzzle that has been prefaced by somebody who says this will be easy. And then you fuck it up for 20 minutes on stream in front of people who were like, oh, Destiny, cool. Ah, awful. And then I got like a 2% drop gun and they were like, that's amazing. And I went, I don't care. I'm never playing this game again. And and that was the summation. I've never felt, I'm sure there's a stream of it. I'm sure I have the archive, and I know I look at the camera at one point and just, I'm like, can't do this anymore. Just like, there's so much, all of the life and light has gone from my eyes. and I am just distraught. We finally made it through. It was the platforms that tip over. You had to like time it. Nope. Never again. But we killed the boss though. I didn't die. They were like, you did great. And I was like, nope, I hate this. It was awful.
That feeling that you are experiencing and expressing is how I felt about Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I fucking hate platformers. I hate platformers.
Platformers.
Hate them.
Special.
It's a beautiful game. I will watch you play it, but I will never touch it again, no matter how much you ask.
If you like Destiny, that's fine. We can still be friends, but I'm not going to play with you.
Hey, it's actually a good thing that we like different kinds of games, because then we can watch people play the ones we wouldn't play.
Exactly. That's our cup half full Stormy energy. I love that. Yes.
The rage I feel. Tell us how you came to know the Plague Pals. Tell us about it.
So, my very lovely friend who forced me to do that horrible, miserable Destiny 2 raid, Mr. Andacious, connected me to them. So just Twitch, RNG gods, random dice roll found each other. So Andy raided them at one point, or they raided him. I don't actually remember. If Plague Pals is here, she'll probably remember. We've gotten to visit Andy and his wife a couple times in California to go to the Renaissance Fair with them. Like, love them so much. And I co-streamed a bunch with him. And he was like my first real mentor on Twitch of somebody who actually knew what they were talking about and was like a kind, good person with good sound advice, who took me under his wing a lot, and we just had a great time together. But that's how I found Plague Pals. And I went to watch a stream where they were playing tabletop sim. I don't remember which game. I would remember if someone mentioned it, I would know, but some board game. And yeah, I remember thinking that like Emily sounded so nice, and I can't actually remember who all was there because it was years ago now. This would have been 2021. Very recently after I'd gotten sober too. Because I took a couple months off because it was a real time when I quit drinking finally. And I got back to streaming 2 months later. And I feel like it was within a month of that Andy was like, you gotta come. I've met these people. We're gonna play tabletop sim and play tabletop sim with us. And I honestly, the rest is history. Emily, again, also someone who just swept me in under her wing. And I never had a doubt for a moment that they were people that I wanted to be around with and connect with. And I recommend all of you, please go check them out and join our little pals.
You guys definitely,
I
see that. You know how sometimes you see, like you've met a couple and you see them together and you're like, okay, those people were made for each other. I feel that in my soul when I see you with the Plague Pals and Plague Dragon. It's visible.
Oh, that makes me so happy. I feel it too. Oh.
Honestly, I love the Plague Pals so much. I lurk in there all the time. They're fantastic people, and I love them so much. And I'm so happy that you have them as your support crutch too.
Yes, yeah. I'm so, and it makes, again, to return the compliment, it makes perfect sense when I was introduced to you two through Emily. I was like, oh yes, yes, of course, these people, yes. Obviously, this is the extended network. Like, really, really delightful that you're there too, because that just feels right.
Everybody's gonna be so annoyed with me once Ghost Bros comes out, because I'm just gonna nonstop talk about it and tell everybody to go play it and buy it and put it on there and everything. Like, everybody's gonna be very annoyed with me by the end of it.
They're gonna love it. I went for one of the tiers where we get to have an artifact in, so there's gonna be a silly little artifact from our house. So
neato.
I'll share what it is when it's out. Yes, had to do that higher tier. Yes.
Amazing.
This is a fun question for you, QueenB3atrix. We have heard tales of a bandit rampaging through a DayZ server, imprisoning people and shaving their beards. Can you comment on this?
No. It's so bandit.
You have the right to remain silent.
Bandit. Plural. The pink arm bandits are a very high tier and respectful DayZ horde of people that occasionally it's my friend Tom. It's my friend Tom who's done the beard shaving mostly. I don't know what his problem is, but he likes to collect people's beards, and I'm sorry if you don't comply, you get your beard shaved sometimes, and sometimes that means you also get to live. I don't know, but I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you how sad all these 30-year-old German guys are when we go to shave their beards. It's like, oh no, bro, don't shave my beard. I'd rather you just kill me. It's so cute. It sounds so mean. If you're not, DayZ, honestly, DayZ can be a kill or be killed place. But But we talk to people. Sometimes we take you hostage, but also often they shot first. Darn it. See that? Oh, that'd be a good beard. You would have been alive for a long time. If I had a beard like that, I would be very sad to have it shaved. Usually these guys just have the little scruff. Yeah, the pink arm bandits, that's my little Daisy tribe. So if you see people in a German Daisy server with pink armbands, turn your mic on and talk to us before we kill you. I'll say that. Because then we'll befriend you. Don't just shoot at us. We'll come for you. Yeah.
That is not a threat. That's a promise.
It's a promise. In a fun way. In like a fun way. Yeah.
Please do an impression of a celebrity from Schitt's Creek.
Oh, God. You know, it's so funny. I was in the bathroom blow drying my hair and I was like, I bet Emily told them about that. But you know, I'm always ready. Moira Rose will shine in the spotlight for you any day, my dear Druid. Thank you so much for acknowledging and giving space for me. I did once maintain this character voice for 10 hours. The crowds did say it was a devastatingly perfect performance, and a People's Choice Award was even granted to me. Yes, so thank you all for remembering and acknowledging my greatness. Thank you. We don't keep Moira in the pit as quickly as possible as we used to. She was always ready to go, and I don't practice it as much because I've been doing Samantha too much now, and my Moira Rose is getting all silly because I just do Samantha voice, but Moira Rose is always there, ready behind the curtain.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. That was epic.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you for letting us put you on the spot.
It's fine. I practiced a little bit in the bathroom because I had a sneaking suspicion that she would be summoned, and here we are today. Thank you. Sometimes we know ourselves better than we think.
So QueenB3atrix is too clever for her own good, confirmed.
God, ain't it the truth? Oh, Lord.
All right, so we're going to be moving into the last three questions of the regular interview. These are just some little fun ones here that we'd like to ask. QueenB3atrix, what is the weirdest sleeping dream you have ever had that you're willing and able within toss to share?
I mean, I had a lucid one last night where I was at this like kind of a midsummery sort of like culty, lots of just like people that were like too freakishly nice, and they kept being like, no, you're fine, you can stay. And for some reason they were all reaching out of this big pile of hamburger meat that was like sort of cooked on the top and sort of cooked on the bottom, and just taking full mouthfuls of it and eating it, and it was like really raw in the middle. This is not like a medium rare situation. It's like basically just like slightly brown on the outside, and just talking to me. And I was very lucid. I was like, oh, this is a dream. This is a dream. Okay. And watching just these like nice, pretty blonde people at like a farmer's market cult camp eating huge bites of raw hamburger meat. That was last night. So most of the other ones I try to forget because this is a regular occurrence. Yeah. So
that's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
We got a dream expert out there. You want to debunk that one? You know, what's up?
Analyze that one for us.
Bring it.
I need to know the analysis of the raw hamburger.
Really weird. Well, I do think the big characteristic of my dreams, I don't know how other people feel like this, is like just terrain is really odd. Terrain and dimensions are really strange. So it was kind of this slanted thing. Also, big ass pile of burger meat, like really extra. And just there's like a stand with like honey, and then there's like a bunch of old cars, and it's like tiered, and it's kind of outside, and then it's like a restaurant. And I'm like, whoa. Is this just what's going on in our brains all the time? And it's very weird. I'd be very, very fearful to have like the cell situation where someone went into my dreams and brain. It would upset a lot of people, I think. So mostly keep it to myself.
Well, my queen, if you could have any superpower, which one would you choose and why?
Let's see. This is actually one that I struggle with because I don't know. I think I might be more of a I'm like a little more of a psychic. Like I would love to have like mind control kinds of things. Like what's the bad guy in Jessica Jones? You just like make people do stuff. I think that speaks to a deep inner need of mine to just like be in control of more things. Not that I actually want to cause harm. Ignore the earlier beard shaving comments. Not that I actively want to cause harm, but because I would love to just have more things comply, because for some reason my brain thinks that will make me less anxious. It's not true, for the record, but I think that's, yeah, I'd be like, sit down. I'm that. The Dommy mommy stuff would come out a little bit. Like,
The Dommy mommy.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going mind control. For sure.
That's awesome.
Even,
That's actually,
don't need to be
that's the
strong,
first
if
time
you
we've
just make
heard
it
that
weird.
answer.
That is the first time.
I like
a
it.
good one.
Everybody else is like being able to like teleport
Or fly.
or fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shapeshift.
I think I watch a lot of The Boys, and so a lot of those characters keep their powers a little. There's some under wraps ones. And I think I would like one where I could use a really soft touch and just get really powerful and be in charge of everything. Like that appeals to me a lot. Please don't use this in future depositions. Whoever is looking at this. I'm joking, lawyers.
This is all for entertainment purposes.
What?
This is about Queen B.
I will
Mhm.
responsibly
IRL.
use my unmitigated power. Damn it.
Well, speaking of unmitigated power, Queen B, the last question is a question. It's an either or question, so you have to choose. The one that you pick gets to stay in reality. The one that you don't pick no longer exists for anyone.
Okay.
Ready?
I think so.
Turmeric or cayenne pepper?
Cayenne pepper,
Ooh, why?
because I cook with it more often. Suck at turmeric. I like turmeric. Big fan. But also, it might mean that I have one less person in the world who comes to me and is like, should I start taking turmeric? Will it help all of my health issues? And I'm like, maybe.
No.
It's not very expensive, so try it if you must. I can't stop you, and I will support you along the way, but can't specifically endorse it. I talk to a lot of people about supplements, but yes.
It makes things delicious.
I know that that's affected a lot of Indian food, but I'm a little more of a cumin girl anyway, so
I love cumin.
if my Indian food is less yellow, I don't know. I suppose I'll sacrifice it for the little bit of spicy on
Hey,
things.
it's all right. You made your choice and we respect it.
Yes.
Honestly, I respect it very much. All right, chat. If you did not get those links, you need to click on every single one of those links and follow every single one of them and hit follow, subscribe, also cheer some bits, also do some things, also do all of that stuff. Support our queen. Or else. Because we all know that my bird will come and haunt you in your dreams, and she is far more powerful than anybody could possibly imagine or fathom. She is very powerful. She is an eldritch god.
She is a chicken eldritch horror.
She is. She is more powerful than the random cosmic horror in chat, who has a question for you. Random cosmic horror asks, are you part of the barefoot gang?
Oh, like people who don't want to wear socks in the house? Yeah.
Are you barefoot?
Barefoot for surezies. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. No shoes. Yep. 100%.
The void accepts you.
Good. Okay. Yes. There's this long-standing debate in the Plague Pal server too about the socks in bed thing. No socks in bed. And
No
some people are like,
socks.
oh, but I'm cold. And I'm like, well, get a hot pack or another blanket, or put your feet on someone. Don't put them in little stinky socks. What are you doing? That's where I stand on that.
No socks in bed.
No socks in bed.
No socks in bed.
Mm-mm.
That is, I cannot.
No towel scan. No. But yes,
No.
barefoot. Yes.
I will. Only
Right.
reason why I own shoes is because I have to.
I know. I have to so that I can pick up heavy stuff, but I actually even prefer working out barefoot because I do a lot of heavy strength training and you get a lot of good force transference with nice bare feet. Not all the time. Like if I'm doing back squats, I need a little heel elevated, but I'll pop them up on wedges barefoot, whatever. Make it your own way, So it's kind of liberating running around a gym barefoot too. It's like, oh, I might get athlete's foot. I gotta go faster. It's very exciting.
Interesting. So King Zavarel asks, what is one of the funniest moments that you've had on stream?
There's so many. I feel like I'd have to go back and review my shorts a little bit, but I think one of the earliest ones I know is a favorite of my friend Chaotic Wiz's, where I was playing Fallout 4 and I was where the Forged are, the ironworks, and I was just exploring outside. I have 800 hours in this game at this point or something stupid because I played it from day one, and I'm wandering around in my power armor and I'm like up outside and I'm just like, oh yeah, I wonder what's here. And I walk right off of a platform into the lava pit, like the Iron Forge. And I just look up at the camera and I think the reason it's extra funny is I'm in my full Pikachu costume. So I'm just like, and my cute little ears on, I've got my headset and I'm just like, we're just gonna, and the death music starts, the boom, boom. And I look up at the camera like, I might be the dumbest person that's ever, and it is so funny. So that's, I know, a really special moment. I'm sure there are so many more. Basically anytime I've died in a funny way has been a good time though. That'll get me giggling.
Love that.
I believe it's in my Twitch channel trailer. That's how much I liked it. So that's a good little compilation of a couple of my favorite moments. For sure.
So good. Go check you gotta go follow QueenB3atrix and go check out her channel trailer. Do it now.
The other one that's in it, I will not to spoil too much. Also, it's one of the first little things I edited, so I'm very proud of it. But I'm playing Dying Light with Andy, famous Andy, and we're climbing up one of the stupid towers. And I fall. I'm up really high, and I fall like 5 floors. And I'm like, well, that sucks. I shouldn't fall again. And then I fall all the way to the bottom immediately. And it's great. Please go watch it. It's so embarrassing. I live to just laugh at dumb shit I did. So please go check it out. Even if you don't follow, just go watch it. It's funny.
Go watch it. And then come back and ask questions.
Yes, please.
Caffeinated Zombie asks, what is a... Stormy, help me.
I didn't say, where are you reading the word what there?
Is that... see, listen. Is that... you read it. You read it, Stormy. My brain cannot pronounce this.
Is that a coochie copy in the background? She asks if you like anime. We've already kind of discussed that some, but feel free to answer. And I love your samurai sword, she says.
Oh, yes. That's my first like adult, indulgent, ridiculous, expensive purchase because the first year we went to Gen Con, which is in a couple hours away from us, I went up to the sword booth and they had, like, saw a katana and I was like, oh, that looks like the bride's katana from the Kill Bill. And the guy at the shop was like, yes, it is. It's actually the last one I have. We don't know if this is true, whatever. You sell your shit. I'll buy it. The last one we have, and it was Sunny Chiba, who plays Hattori Hanzo, had just passed away that year, and it's laser engraved. So I spent $600 on a sword. And when I tell you, if you want to feel cool, spend like adult money with your credit card in front of a bunch of 17-year-olds who aren't even allowed to touch the swords at the con. They were all like with their backpacks, like, oh, sword. And I was like, yeah, kids, blah, blah, blah. And I'm pretty sure I had a cat collar on with a belt. It was a weird time. It was a real treat. But it was one of my proudest adult moments where I was like going to debt for nerd shit, blah, 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 blah. But I love Bob's Burgers, Coochie Kopi. We have the warning food may be contaminated by human meat poster in our kitchen. This is an ongoing theme. I love Bob's Burgers so much. So Coochie Kopi. I'm always going a little bit insane. That's how you can tell. This is I'm lacking sleep.
So I'm curious if you've this is just a question that came to mind. Have you ever watched the old anime from the old days, X, the series?
I watched X. When did it come out? Tell me a little bit about it.
So X is pretty impressive. Like it strikes me, you liked Evangelion. If you liked Evangelion, you know how abstract Evangelion can be, right? X is also very abstract, and so if you ever get a chance, it's on Crunchyroll, and some of the best music in anime is in that anime. So
cool.
Go check it out.
I will go watch it and then I will talk to you about it because I am assuming a recommendation from you is going to be a good one. I'm excited.
That anime got me into anime.
Okay.
It's very trippy. It's really kind of, yeah.
It sounds exactly up my alley. Yes. I want to get weird with it for sure. And I love older anime where everything is hand drawn and it just like, it's stunning the kinds of things that people have created. And I always just wonder how hard the artists were working and if they were hydrated and well rested, but they're usually not. But damn, did they make some beautiful, beautiful art for us. So yes.
When did you get into doing Extra Life? And is it like your whole stream is Extra Life? Do you just campaign for Extra Life?
I
Tell
think
us about it.
2022 was my first year, I think. I'm sorry that my brain is bad with timelines. I could look it up, but I got into it partially because the Plague Pals were doing it. They had a lot more personal connection. That like there were, people in Plague Pals or direct family members who had been supported by Children's Miracle Network, so it was extremely meaningful. And I just also, because Plague Dragon works with a lot of nonprofits, if she was supporting them, it just felt like a good vetting of a good organization to help support, because there's some that don't, like, it's not as transparent or whatever. And Extra Life is just such a good organization, and it's so nice that it's easily synchronized. So I'm always taking donations and always have milestones up and always have incentives. I know one that's been pretty popular is the D100, which I'm a little bit behind on, sadly, just because life is busy. But you get to roll the dice, and it'll pick a game off of a 100 game list that I'm working through, and you get shout outs and a stream and YouTube video and all that stuff. But I just really, that was actually one of my big goals this year, and there's still plenty of time, was to get connected to the organization in Louisville in person, because I'm sure that I know somebody who's benefited from them, not just with the Plague Pals group, but I don't personally have an experience, and I'd love to actually go do some in-person volunteering. And I try to support as much as I can in the little ways that I can. I know I could be doing more. I also work with an organization in Louisville that called My Dog Eats First, we do food donation drives and fundraising for unhoused people with animals, and also just like food for unhoused people and like medical treatment and all that. And like supporting something like Extra Life just seems like another extension of like who kind of needs the most help and who could do with the most comfort. And it just really speaks to my brain and appeals to me to make kids who are sick and like extremely sick more comfortable, and to take stress off of people in those kinds of situations as much as possible. Like even without a personal connection, it just really matters to me to do that. So I don't tend to, I always join in for Extra Life stuff as much as I can with the Plague Pals and big and events. I wish I could raise more. A lot of it, I don't stream as regularly as I would like to. So we're just out here grinding away our little bit at a time. But yeah, I definitely, tons of milestones. A lot of them are community based. So, community game nights, movie nights, all sorts of things like that, so that we can all interact with each other. And I can actually put it on my calendar and have an extra good reason to do it, because that calendar should get full fast. So Extra Life helps me with that too. And, but yeah, that's one of my goals this year, is to just get a little more personally connected with it, and go talk to some people, and I don't know, hang out and play video games with some kids. That seems nice. I could do that. That's great.
Awesome. Very cool.
Kids are my favorite, like, brand of humans. Like when they're old enough to like run around and you can like toss them around and they don't break. Like so, like my favorite type of human being. They are so much fun. Especially if they don't quite articulate words very well, but you can just go, you can pick them up and like rub them in dirt and they laugh at you. Like it's perfect.
It just speaks to like a part of us that we lose a little bit of as we get older if we let it go away, right? Like kids are good at keep making us feel like kids again, right? Like that's important. We're all just big kids.
I have godchildren that I have done that to.
I am sure you are. I was gonna say that even before the dirt rubbing. Oh man.
We got in Orby fights and we scared all the adults, and it was very fun. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend.
Oh my God.
Highly recommend, if there is a group of children and a bunch of Orbeez, you throw those Orbeez at the children. That doesn't hurt them. It's very funny.
Yeah. And the parents will be nervous. Oh.
No, they'll be so nervous, but they're happy they don't have to deal with it.
Oh man.
So Random Cosmic Horror asks a really kind of interesting question. Do you like sourdough bread?
Yes. Yeah, I like bread. So we don't have a sourdough baby. We don't have a baby pet. We don't have the millennial Tamagotchi in our house. But my husband, so Marlon and I met in the food science department at Oregon State, and he still, I use a lot of underpinnings of my degree, but he still is like actively a food scientist and, works in a food production facility and, in a higher level position, helping with quality and all that. And he is the baker. We joke that I'm like, you got 30 minutes in these 4 random ingredients to have an episode of Chopped, go. Like, I'm very good at like putting stuff together on the spot. Not going to measure anything. I don't want to weigh anything, whatever. Marlon is the baker. He's also a very good cook, but baker is definitely the hat he wears. So even if he's just making like a seeded loaf, again, not necessarily with a starter, like we have fresh baked bread in the house a lot because it helps him decompress too. He's also been in a making chocolate phase. So it's a real nice time out here, but I love sourdough bread. I'm a big bread kid. for sure. I'm pretty sure that baguettes are my desert island food. And so yeah, you give me some sourdough, give me some rye, whatever. I like all of it. But yeah,
Mhm.
I won't talk about bread too much. And I stole that millennial Tamagotchi joke from somebody, but it's funny and I'm gonna keep saying it. Spread it around.
My wife says measure with your heart when it comes to cooking and baking. Yeah.
Measure with your heart.
I completely agree.
Yes.
You cannot overdo the chocolate chips in a chocolate chip cookie.
No.
I'm just personally saying.
No, I agree. Yeah,
No matter what anybody else says, they're lying.
they're lying.
Mhm.
They're gatekeeping. They're gatekeeping our chocolate.
Yeah, how dare they? Fuck them.
Fuck the haters, Druid.
Yeah.
Gaslight those.
Yeah.
Gaslight those bitches. That's my favorite. Gaslight the haters. You're just not putting in enough chocolate chips in yours. You're doing it wrong. The recipe
You're
says that, but
doing it
you're just
wrong.
following orders. You're just gonna follow what a document tells you to do. You conformist.
So something you said earlier and it made me laugh so hard. It was just like people's reactions when you say you don't want to have kids. As somebody who also doesn't want to have kids, like you're in a group like none of us on this screen have or want children.
Yep.
And the amount of oh, but you would be such a good mom. And I'm like, you're telling somebody who does not want to have kids that you would be such a good no.
There's probably a lot of
Stop.
things you would be good at. It doesn't mean you have to do them. Yeah, no, I respect that. It's a personal choice, and it doesn't mean that I don't like kids. You obviously really love kids.
I love kids.
Yeah, I love
Not
other
out
people's
of
kids.
my own body.
Not out of
and I
my own
don't wanna
body.
and I don't want to be responsible for them
No,
either.
I don't. I just figured out how to be responsible for myself, and even that is like a hit or miss on a lot of days. So, like another person, do you think I have enough money in the savings account for that? No, absolutely not. It's for me, like especially for women, there's an age thing. I kind of figure if this is something that changes as I'm sober longer, because I've only been sober a little over 4 years. And I'm 37, almost 38. It's like, yeah, I still would have time to biologically be a mom if I wanted to, which I don't. But if in my 40s, a thing kicks on where I'm like, I'm feeling unfulfilled in this part of my life, I will foster and adopt in a heartbeat. Like, I do not need to extend. Think about how much I love my cats, how much you love your bird, how much I love my dog. Do you think I would have trouble extending love to another human that I wanted to support and protect? Of course not. Like, I already would die for my pets. Like, if I wanted to open my home to a person, to a little baby or a little child or a teenager in need or whoever, like I'm sure that love will be there. It doesn't have to come out of my body. I just am not there yet because I feel very stunted from all my years of drinking and repressing my emotional development. Okay, so I'm just like I'm not there. Like, what do you want from me? It's just not gonna happen.
Not to mention, kids are really expensive on both money and time.
Yes, I am spoiled. Yeah. Because I joke about this. Because I'm an only child. I'm just like, but I'm the baby.
My husband's an only child. Like, grew up as an only child. I grew up with siblings, half siblings, step siblings, and just like, or I was the oldest cousin, so I was in charge of everybody's kids. And then I ended up babysitting when I was really young. And so, like, I've already raised children. I've already been there, done that. They weren't even mine already. I've done it. If Shadow Man comes in here, he'll vouch for me. I basically raised him. Okay? I did.
Oh
he will tell you. He's like, yeah, she did. For like an
You
extended
raised him.
period of
Oh
his
God,
childhood.
Druid, that's terrifying.
I know.
Just because we don't have kids doesn't mean we're not mummies.
But yeah. The last time I drank, I think I still have a clip of it. There's I took a shot on stream, and I'm like, and that was just like, I can't do this anymore. And that was the last time I drank. There's a clip of me. Yeah.
We did it. Yeah. There's footage of me drinking out there too, for sure. And fortunately not any footage of my last 2 weeks of my wild final bender with hospital trips I don't remember and sort of prison breaking from a rehab center that wouldn't let me leave. Just a little Shawshank Redemption moment. It was the right call. Trust me. It's a long story, but it did not, being at that facility was not going to help me get sober. And I stayed sober afterwards. So the leaving was good because I got home and I was like, oh boy, if this is the rehab options in Kentucky, I better stay sober. I'm going to fucking die. So actually, thank you to that place. Good work. But yeah, it's it's a real nice life on the other side. I don't know how much time you've got, and it's never lost if we, I don't ever take a day for granted. But it's just not something I do anymore. It's not something I want to do. It's not something I care about. I don't mind being around it to a degree, right? Like that is one thing I will say is a low-key rule that probably needs to be written into my Twitch channel rules is if people come in and start describing the things they're drinking, it still makes me feel sick. Especially if it's like, I was mixing peach schnapps and Red Bull, and I'm like, I'm gonna die! Like gives me heartburn and massive nausea. So I don't, I'll have an intellectual discussion with you, but because I was like a master bartender. I was like in it. That was my whole career in life. And it's weird to let that go. But it's a testament to, I was talking to a friend recently who was like thinking about leaving his job and it's very specialized and going to an entirely new career. And I was like, all of that time is not lost. Everything that you have learned and everything you have been through, it will transfer in a way you never expected to the rest of your life. Like you think a bartender and a personal trainer have a lot in common. You wouldn't think so. They absolutely fucking do. Like I've never been more prepared for my job than having to like cut people off and communicate and talk through everything and meet everyone from all walks of life and be in close quarters with someone for a long time and take care of them. And like, it's a whole thing. So just, you never know. Sorry, I'm such a tangent queen, but
no, it's okay. Yeah. So my Nana got sober. I think she's hitting 5 years. She was 74 when she got sober.
She's just like, nah.
And she hit rock bottom multiple times throughout her life. And she's been sober for 5 years. So it's never too late either.
Never.
To turn your life around and get sober and to make amends and to grow and change.
And I also love to be, if anybody out there is ever questioning it or has questions, is thinking about that's something they need, you could always talk to me. I will always make room to talk to you about that. Whatever substance issues you're having, like, and even issues in general, I'm here for you, but especially about alcohol. And like, please talk to me because no, there will be no shame. I promise anything you've done, I've done at least the same, if not worse. So, and I've, been to treatment. I've heard a lot of stories and I really firmly believe that like, there is no better decision I've ever made in my life. And, if you're questioning it at all, please talk to me. I'm sure Druid feels the same way.
Wow, that's incredible. That's epic.
It matters, yeah.
See, so not just fun and funny, but also edifying and clarifying and educating.
I try.
Does anybody else have any more questions for Queen B? Or Queen B, do you have any questions for us?
I want to know, so not having not gotten to watch a lot of your D&D stuff yet, or tabletop experience, I'd love to know a tabletop role-playing game that you haven't tried that you'd like to, and a D&D class or build that you haven't tried that you'd like to. What are your frontiers that you haven't broached?
Oh, interesting. You want to go first, Druid?
I really want to try the...
Something wrong?
I really want to try the Palladium system. I have the
cool.
book. The reason why is because this was my husband's first tabletop that he played, and all of the stories he's talked about was all through Palladium when we first got together, and he would tell me all these fun stories and stuff. And then we got into D&D with Stormy.
Yay!
But I would love to try that.
And then her other part of her question was which D&D character class that you have not created that you would like to, right? Was it your question?
Yeah, like a build or either a class that you haven't tried or like it can be a little open-ended if you've played a lot of characters. Yeah.
I think I would play a very good rogue.
I think so too.
I can see that. I can see that 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
So my answer, I wanted to. There's actually a Fallout TTRPG with the perks and everything, and that's one I haven't tried that I would like to try. I think that would be really fun.
I would love
as
to
far
play
as the
that
character
with you.
Class. I'm a self-taught DM since 1981. I was 12 years old. There is not a character class I have not tried in D&D.
That sounds right. Yes. So, what kind of build would you be most drawn to, like for a Fallout TTRPG? Since
oh
that
man,
would be new territory.
That's tough. See, I because of my long history with TTRPGs, I actually got to play the original TTRPG that inspired indirectly Fallout.
Oh, cool.
There's a TTRPG back in the day called Gamma World, and it inspired the game Wasteland on the PC, which eventually inspired Fallout on the PC. And so I guess I'd be drawn to somebody maybe with power armor and a vibroblade.
Cool. Yes, very tanky and melee. Neat.
Yeah.
Well, I've only played like a little one shot of it, but I really liked it, and I'm a massive Fallout person. So if you ever decide you'd like a guest for a live one or for off air, please hit me up if you got a seat at the table. I would be there in a heartbeat. No pressure. Yeah, just kidding.
Ooh, awesome.
Pressure. So much pressure. All of the pressure.
Nerd stuff. But yes, especially because every year, because we do go to Gen Con every year, and there's been more and more the Fallout miniature setups, and like, oh yeah, there's like cool little Red Rocket gas stations, and there's the NCR and the is it the NCR and the Legion who are shaking hands, the big statues, or across the like at the outpost in New Vegas. I can't remember what the two statues are, but there's some like a model of those somewhere. Mm-hmm. They're great. It's so cool. But the little minis are so cool, and I want to play with them. But virtually would be good too.
So I have a question before we start to go to the last couple of questions and wrap up. I'm curious, as somebody who's been to Gen Con, have you tell us about some of your experiences?
Yeah, so the first year we just went normally because we moved to Louisville, Kentucky from Oregon. It's about 2 hours to Indianapolis. And honestly, when we moved here, we were there were a lot of different factors at play. I still thought I could work in the bourbon industry. The housing market was really reasonable. We needed to move to just get a fresh start, and just a bunch of other factors. And not insignificantly was, oh man, we're going to be a lot closer to a lot more tabletop board games. And we just know that that's a natural community we want to be involved with. And we were big Glass Cannon fans at the time. So the Glass Cannon podcast is still one of, huge fan of that company and the work that they do and the stories they tell. So they do live shows at Gen Con. Now they do tons of them, and they're usually sold out very fast. But we went up and went to their shows, and I swear it was like the 6 extroverts were all left over after that VIP meeting, and it was me and my husband and our friends Richard and Perry and Avery and oh my gosh, who was the last person? Why am I gonna forget their name? I'm so sorry, last person. But then we all just immediately became friends, and we are still in contact all the time. I'm just Twitter pated because I'm in front of a bunch of people. And so that for me was like hugely important. Pete was the last person. Pete, I got you, Pete. We all hung out together, and we've been connected ever since. So this was in 2021. And now that next year, I, again, doing that thing that I do, that's like not thinking very clearly about something, but deciding that it feels right, decided to sign up for their apprentice program to work on their staff. So that second year, I worked half days with my little apprentice vest and followed people around on the ops team and in the artist alley and like the events team. And then the year after that, I started working for them full time at the con. So they pay you an hourly rate, they pay for your badge, they pay for half of your hotel. And increasingly, they pay for your travel, they pay for more of your hotel, whatever. You get more perks the more years you do it. They don't have to be sequential. Gen Con is gigantic, but really fun, and I think is one of my favorite things about it, because I don't engage with a lot of stuff now that I just work, because it's very my personality to be like, I want to just get in and see how this happens. Like I don't want to sit still and play a game. I want to watch everything happen and be a part of everything. And so now I walk halls, and I like help with incidences and direct people and help with line management, whatever. And that is like good for my brain. But one of the things I like the most about it is it's such an example of how it's just not fucking hard to make a space accessible for a lot of people. There are like 70,000 plus people that go to Gen Con, and like simple things are done, like pronoun little flyers are available. There are like quiet sensory spaces that help with people who get sensory overload. There's really good, they make just accessibility big for people with like other ability levels and different visual levels and auditory. And it's just that is a huge priority for them. And so I really just like being in a space that's so diverse, and you get a lot more representation of people with like who are, have disabilities and different kind of neurodivergences and different queer representation. And it feels so much more like the world you want to see, because they make that a priority for the event. So it's a really fun place to go, try a bunch of games, play some Magic, go to some live shows, go to some, cosplay contests, whatever. But also it's just like, see, it's not hard. We can just fucking be nice to each other and play games. Like it's not fucking hard. That's That's all it is. And that just makes me very proud to like be a part of that.
Perfect
And I really
microcosm
admire
for the
their
paradise
work.
we want to build.
Yes, please. It's not hard. It actually doesn't inconvenience people at all. It's not a big deal
Yeah.
to just like be nice to people and
Not.
accommodate them.
Mhm.
And it feels
Mhm.
nice to do it actually. So
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's just an
Well,
option.
you know, it's really not hard to have ramps and to
It's
be
not.
like, is this wheelchair accessible? Is it?
Yeah. Is it?
Is it?
Yeah. And if it's not, fix it because we made it that way in the first place. So fucking make it again. Like this is not, we don't need to leave this institutional shit like this. Like you can make it better for people, even if it's just in small ways. So they're really big on that. And it's just fun being around that many nerds. Highly recommend it. It's a real nice time.
Yeah, I did. One way to just throw me off the deep end is just not having wheelchair access.
Yeah.
Because that just is something that is just one of those things where I'm like, just look,
Just do it. Yeah. Take care of people.
I will grant.
I like the eldritch horror that is in you, not just in your bird. Yes, let her free.
Listen.
Mhm.
Anyways, Random Cosmic Horror asks, I'm gonna be up in Clarice soon to see my pops. Any advice for a trip? I'm gonna be taking my bike all the way. It's a 13-hour travel on a bike. Motorcycle, by the way.
Oh.
For clarification.
Oh. Okay.
Wear a helmet?
Have extra gas on you.
Yeah.
Wear a helmet?
I don't know. Wear a helmet. Queue up some good audio. Listen to the Dungeon Crawler Carl audiobook. That'll get you as far as you want. First book's kind of short. They get longer and longer. That's what I've been doing. Shoot. On the open road. I don't need no music. Give me more Carl. Good stuff. Snacks. Get some jerky. You know, if you eat meat. Or get some vegan jerky. Yeah. Watch out for deer. A lot of deer.
Yeah.
I've been on a motorcycle one
tired.
time for like 14 seconds. So like, I can't help you.
Rest when you're tired. Rest when you're tired. And just, it's so easy to zone out, but just be aware of your surroundings because people are not aware of motorcycles. So you need to be aware of them.
Constant vigilance. Okay.
Yeah. Constant vigilance. Use your brain. Rest if you need to.
And the reason I harp on the helmet thing is my mom had a good friend that she'd known all of her life. And, you know, a guy in his, at the time probably was in his 50s, roughly my age probably. He'd been riding motorcycles all his life and thought, nah, I don't need a helmet. I've never needed one before. And that's how he went out. So it wasn't his fault. He was a great, experienced rider. But you know what? There are people on the road who are not great and experienced drivers. And they create a dynamic that you cannot control no matter how good you are. And you don't want your brain splattered on highway.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wear a
Because
helmet.
you got
and it's
people
not
that care
required in
about you
Kentucky, I
now.
don't think.
So, or not just now, but yeah.
Always. Also, if you are coming through Louisville, I highly recommend stopping at one of the Please and Thank You coffee shops, although I slightly boycott them because they don't do decaf, but I always stop in because they have the best chocolate chip cookies in the state. Very good.
Ooh.
Royals Hot Chicken's another staple. Very good. If you need food recommendations, please DM me. I'm here for that. If you need a good workout, swing by the gym. I got you. I'd be happy to give you a sesh. Get you all limber for the rest of the road.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, French Lick is
stretch.
supposed to be wonderful. Get up and stretch. I do. This will be funny to anyone who's been listening to me talk this whole time, but I actually teach a yoga class once a week to like a private group, and I can get into Zen mode. It's shocking even to me.
You and Star
like
Kitty
to
would
do
have some
hot
good
yoga.
chats. She's been a fitness instructor of body flow and Pyo for the last 9 years, I think.
Oh my gosh, I would love to talk to her. Yes. And thank you for sharing your story too. I'm really like it's crazy what can happen. Like, and we have to remember that driving too. Like I will also say like if you haven't been through Louisville and Kentucky, the driving here is real wild. Like I feel like it's extra crazy. So be extra careful because I've had a lot of close calls driving and I'm a very nervous, slow driver. And I still just people around me are doing crazy shit. So a lot of cars held together by duct tape and gods. So watch yourself.
Deities
Also,
from the
because-
outer realm.
because it's such a long drive, please don't lane split. Just pretend like it's illegal. Do not lane split. Do not drive between cars. They are not paying attention. Again, don't do it. Do not lane split. Don't be an idiot. For the love of God, it's such a long drive.
All right.
Just
now that
know
we're
everybody
done with
that's in a car is stupid.
Yep.
Pretend like they're all blind and they don't
Yes.
see you, okay? Be goddamn safe. Or else.
All right. We've got the PSAs out of the way. And sadly, that also, we're getting to the end of the interview today.
Is this already riled up?
No, it's all right. It's all right. We care
Sometimes
about
we have a
people,
good
and that's
rant
what
trigger. Yes, I feel that.
So, Queen Beatrix, to wrap up our incredible interview for the day, please share something about yourself and or your stream that you want people to know.
Well, I will just say that, they're infrequent and a little unpredictable, but the Discord community is very active and welcoming. We do lots of off-air events too, lots of YouTube content coming out. Basically what you see here is what you get on stream with a little more screaming, the same amount of swearing. I really love to play things with people. I love to try out new things. I don't care if I look stupid. If someone comes in and tells me I'm being stupid, I will shout at them and you can watch me do that. And that's fun because I'm very, very protective of the people that I care about, that if you like me and you want to be around me and this is your vibe, like you'll be in my pack forever because I'm honored that this madness is something that you enjoy. So if you're part of my community, like your feelings and the experience you're having really matters to me, and I want to play games that you want to see and play games with you, even if it's just off air for fun, and I want you to come to the movie night. So the whole thing for me is really about community building and fundraising when we can, because I just want to have a network of people that I can turn to and that I can trust and that can turn to me, because that's made a huge difference in my life. So that's all. Lots of silly stuff. Lots of running around and killing things and then loving each other afterwards. That's all.
Oh, that's awesome.
Beautiful. Beautiful,
Well,
beautiful.
Yep. Queen Beatrix, you're a treasure and delightful, and it's been an honor to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
you. Bye.
Go hit those links, guys, or else.
Yes, the links. That's how we support each other on Twitch. Go lift up that amazing human being. She's exactly the kind of folk that we love to have on B&B, because she's exactly the kind of the folks that we want to have on Twitch to lighten our mood and brighten our day. And go share yourself with her. Speaking of sharing, next week we have none other than, wow, this is awesome. Somebody who's been a part of the Stormkeep kind of circle for a while now, that we met through King Gildan. And she's good friends with lots of folks we've actually already had on the show, from Dane Cletus to Ratatash. None other than the beautiful Nunu Side Quests is coming on the show next Friday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So you guys are going to be in for a treat. And thank you all for coming. That's part of the wrap up. I got ahead of myself again.
I was going to say.
Do you have anything else that you want to add, Druid?
I love you guys.
Yes. We love you. Thank you. All right. You ready to wrap this up with a bow?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to the show.
Please drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below.
And if you're listening to the podcast,
please rate and review the episode.
We're Bandwidth
and Banter.
Thank you.
And good night.